As you can see, the watch will sit on the ring gear, and as the stepper motor turns, the inner gear will drive the ring gear and turn the watch. This is the motor I'm going to use. It's a small and cheap stepper motor and perfect for what I'm going to use him for. I didn't like how the finger joints looked, so I left the case clean and recut the parts on the CNC, which ended up being an unnecessary step because at the end I covered the casing with a synthetic leather. The Z-height wasn't set right, so the CNC did not cut all the way through, but with a cutting wheel on a Dremel tool and with a little bit of sanding, the parts cleaned up nicely. Then I simply glued the parts together. Then I connected the stepper motor to an Arduino and decided that I needed some kind of limit switch so that the winder will know in which orientation the watch is sitting. Similar to a CNC or a 3D printer, where the limit switch tells the machine when an axis reaches its physical limit. In this case, the switch will tell the Arduino in which alignment the watch is, for example when the Arduino is restarting, which is the case when the watch winder is getting plugged in. For that purpose I decided on a reed switch. So I can simply glue a magnet to the ring gear, so when the magnet passes the reed switch, the Arduino knows that he has to zero the angle of the watch. After connecting everything onto a breadboard and writing the program, I tested it and everything seemed to work just fine, so the next step was to solder all the components to a perf board. So now that we finished the electronics, it is time to print the rest of the parts with the 3D printer and finally bring it all together. Starting with wrapping the case with a synthetic leather to give it a more professional look. Then pressing some threaded inserts into the 3D printed parts by first lowering the temperature of the soldering iron. Then screwing the parts together. Pressing the ball bearing into the bearing block. Gluing the block into the case. Cutting the axle to its final length. Then drilling some holes for the reed switch. Extending the leads of the switch with 2 wires. Fiddling the switch through the 2 just drilled holes. Inserting the cable leads of the reed switch, ground and 12V DC into the screw terminals and tightening them. Gluing the magnet into place and closing the case up. After getting the spacing between the 2 pins just right and putting the watch onto the winder, this project is finally finished. I have to say that I'm quite happy about how this project turned out, and I hope you also enjoyed seeing me build it. Vielen Dank fürs Zuschauen, thank you for watching.